The next item on our list today is Nathaniel Hackett talking about the message he would have to fans right now who would very much like for him to no longer be the head coach of the team. Here he is.
I mean, nobody's as frustrated as I am. You know, this is not where we wanted to be at this time in the season. None of us thought it was going to be like that, and that responsibility is fully on me. I want to be the one that can do everything to help this football team, because we as a group have to come together and find a way to win a football game. And we can't play the way that we played yesterday and expect to win a football game. So it starts with me from the practice preparation, every single thing that we do. I'm the most frustrated. I think our fans are great. I mean, they want to win, just like we all do. So, I mean, I don't blame them for being frustrated. And for me, all I know is to work, put my head down with our staff. I believe in this staff, believe in these players, and we got to get better plays, better execution across the board.
You know, the problem with the Broncos hasn't been they've been overpowered or embarrassed by anyone. It's all these self-inflicted wounds. It's what we were talking about with the Colts. You do things to lose the game. It's not that the opponent is engaging in some Herculean task that is beating you. You're beating yourself. And all these games are close with the exception of the 23-10 loss to the Panthers. That was the first game that they've lost by more than one score all year. And that's what's driving people crazy. They're close, and they're doing something. Ultimately, Nathaniel Hackett is doing something or failing to do something to secure those victories, and it's making the fans more and more frustrated, obviously. And it's only going to get worse unless they find a way to turn it around the last 6 weeks.
Which, I mean, I don't know about you, Mike, but I don't see that happening. I mean, they're not even scoring 15 points per game, Mike. They're at 14.8 points per game, which is a point behind the next couple of teams there in Houston and Indianapolis, which tells you a lot. I mean, they've only scored at least 20 points 2 times this season. They haven't scored more than 23 points at all in a game. It's really, really, really bad. I mean, the worst offense I covered with the Rams was in 2016, and they scored 14 points per game. I looked this up last night. But they had at least scored 37 at one point against the Bucs. There's not been one game where you can say, oh, yeah, the offense, you saw it. You know, it's close to breaking out. There were dimes from Russell Wilson, and he was getting Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and they were running the ball well. And it's just, that was the game where you can point to, and man, if they could just get that consistently. There's not even been that. They can't even do that. So I just, I'm almost starting to feel bad for Nathaniel Hackett, because it's very clear that whatever offensive plan paired with the quarterback right now, who's not playing well either, that they're putting together, it's really, really, really not working. And I have a hard time seeing it turn around in these last 6 weeks.
And everything that they're doing to make it better isn't working. Like, what are they ultimately doing to make Russell Wilson more comfortable, to use the offense that worked for Russell Wilson in Seattle? And I don't know that offense would work for him at this point. I really do think the issue with Russell Wilson is he's lost just enough mobility that he's lost his confidence in his abilities. That difference, that extra little bit where you can buy yourself some time to make a throw, to get outside the pocket, or to take off. I see him hesitate at times. You know, he's just not as sure of himself as he used to be, and that's what kind of comes through when you watch the Broncos play. So I don't know that they can do anything at this point to make it any better other than just hand off on every play. And what can you do there? All of your running backs are injured. They're down to guys who first joined the team via the practice squad, from the top of the depth chart to the bottom. And you mentioned the Rams. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you 100% positive you want to go home to Cleveland for Christmas and not stay in L.A. so you can enjoy Broncos at Rams on Christmas Day? What an opportunity you're missing.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Spend Christmas with my friends at that stadium. No, I don't think that's something that I want to do. I'll plan on going next Thursday, though, Raiders-Rams, because that one's here, and I'm planning on being in town. But you know what? As you were saying that, Mike, with Russell Wilson, let's do this kind of thought experiment where, what if he were the quarterback of the Eagles right now? And we see what Jalen Hurts can do running the ball. And I don't know, I'm flashing back to early career Russell Wilson, where he was running the ball that effectively. And it's like, I think that Russell Wilson could have maybe played the role of Jalen Hurts in that kind of system. But now I don't see Russell Wilson being able to run the ball like that. And that probably is the inherent problem with Russell Wilson, right? He's not necessarily as good just being in the pocket as he used to be when he was moving around, making things happen and all that. And Jalen Hurts right now, obviously, is an MVP candidate, right? So I don't know. I think even if you dropped Russell Wilson in a better system like that probably would have worked for him really well early on in his career, I don't think that he could do those kinds of things today.
I don't disagree with that. And the question becomes why. He just turned 34 yesterday, and he's one of those guys that always seems younger than he is because to me, it's like he's still just kind of showed up not that long ago. Oh, wait, a decade has gone by. Yeah. But he's 34, and he shouldn't be losing his legs. He shouldn't be losing his raw ability. And I don't know whether it's a factor of he feels like he needs to be thicker to withstand the beating. And the other side of it, too, is, hey, if we're going to be real as it relates to whether or not Russell Wilson is the authentic article, and that's well documented by now, do you really see the actual person? How much of it is contrived? How much of it is rehearsed? How much of it is for the benefit of our perception and not his reality? We've been led to believe this guy is work. Maybe he's not. Maybe he just knows how to create the impression by, hey, turn the camera on and I'm gonna do some stuff for a little while and we're gonna make it look like I do this all day. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go take a load off and not do anything for a while. I don't know why at 34 he would have lost his ability to run the way he used to. We haven't seen an accumulation of injuries. This isn't like Eddie George where he just went off a cliff because he's been banged around his entire career. Not one specific thing, just can't do it anymore. I don't know why Russell Wilson now doesn't move like Russell Wilson used to. But, it's a fair question. And again, one of the all-time great grifts, Myles, by the Seattle Seahawks, propping him up just long enough to get somebody to give multiple first-round draft picks to get him off the books and move on at the right time, because maybe the Seahawks believed we're at the limit of how long we can hold this together, and they did it at the exact perfect moment.
When you say why he's lost his legs, I'm thinking, well, there are sometimes players like Cam Newton came to my mind, and it's like, well, he didn't really lose his legs. He lost his arm because he kept getting banged around, right? But he still has the ability to run the football. We saw that last year when he went back to the Panthers. So it's a different deal with Russell Wilson. And I don't know, man. I mean, as I turn 31, like everything, it's just days, it's just things just seem to be wrong with me. My foot hurts one day and I'm like, what is this? This didn't happen the other day. My knee starts acting up and I'm like, I don't do the kinds of things that Russell Wilson does. What do? I ride the Peloton and I run a little bit. So I don't know if you are out there and you're playing and you're running around and there's some hidden yardage in the way that he used to run around and make plays and stuff like that. And when he was playing on the turf in Seattle, maybe some of that is the accumulation of things and it just affects his body in that adverse way. I really don't know, but there is certainly something that is missing with him. And in addition to the kind of the offensive scheme and the game plans that they're putting out there with the Denver Broncos has added up to what has been the worst offense in the league.
And I guess the big takeaway is, as we see these other great quarterbacks who rely on mobility get older and older, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to do what they're doing indefinitely. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, the first two who come to mind, the way we see them move.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. And we saw in Super Bowl 55 against the Bucs, Mahomes loses just a little bit, and he's swallowed up by that Tampa Bay pass rush. So Mahomes needs everything that he can currently do. Josh Allen needs everything. Right, but the offensive line wasn't a whole lot better the year before against the 49ers, and he still ran away from him. I'm just saying it's a little bit. You don't have to lose much to all of a sudden be the guy who's dragged down, not the guy who runs away and makes the big throw. And it applies to all these quarterbacks who are using their legs. Jalen Hurts at some point. Can you keep doing it? Russell Wilson is a cautionary tale that maybe even by the time you turn 35, you're not going to be able to do it. One thing that Russell Wilson is having a hard time doing is keeping his teammates on his side. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.